All right, here we go. Right off the bat, what I do is I need to know where I am, right? So I'm looking at this thing right here, and that's not bad. My performance is not bad at all. It could be better. You can, okay. Our course is 182 degrees. Our speed is 5, going 6 knots. Our depth is 163, and this is the depth under the keel would be right here. This right here is the time, 2300 Zulu, and this is the date, which is December 5th, 2021. All right, yeah, we're going through everything. All right, I'm not gonna say anything about this. We're gonna come back to this. Just don't want it to drive me crazy at the moment. All right, all of these main circuits over here. It's just stuff, aesthetics. For the, if you do status report, it'll do this little thing in the bottom right hand corner. Operational, everything is operational. Basically, it'll tell you when it last auto saved in your last orders, right? Launch countermeasures. That's what that is. We don't want to do that right now. All right. DCS. I forgot what this is. I forgot what this, I think this is one of the we'll come back here. Anyway, I just wanted to see. If we don't know what it is, dog, I'm not gonna front and say I know what it is. We're gonna check it out. But this is what I come here. Lights all on. Presets. What the hell is preset? Oh. I guess there's different configurations. Four. This is 4. Oh, okay. I see. Wait a second. So yeah, these are the same. Okay, these are the lights we're controlling. And yeah, it means that some of them go on and some of them go off. Okay, armor soundtrack. So, okay, yeah, that's cool. That is pretty freaking cool, dude. They didn't have to do that, you know? So where are we? Okay, first thing I need to do. Is set everything up. You can do this. This is how I like to set up. I'm right clicking on here, select display. This one, I like the chart to be up there. That one's cool with the time bearing display. This right here, I like to put our objective on here once we find out what it is. You know what I'm saying? Just to have something up here, you know. And then this, I have situational. All right, after that, then we start hearing crazy stuff like this, right? Come to the sonar station. There's 2 screens we have here. This is just my preference. I set up the top one for environment, and by that I mean let's go to the first screen. Let me turn this off because this is gonna drive us crazy. Okay, this is the active sonar. From what I understand, you can make it come out from the sail, and just like you turn on the fathometer, press standby and then continuous, and this basically shoots out sonar in front of you. They say it's for traffic coming in the port, icebergs, stuff that's in front of you, right? You can also make it come from the chin, and you can make it louder But you know, making stuff loud as a sub is not what you want to do, right? I don't know. Can I make it? Okay, just gonna stop. Haven't found the use for it yet, but that's all right. Up here, you'll notice our heading is 182, so we're going south, almost straight south. 5 knots, 160 at a depth of 162. There's our time and date information. These circles right here are our cavitation indicators. Green means good, yellow means warning, red means yeah, you're definitely doing it, dude. You're definitely doing it, dude. We want to stay always out of the yellow. I don't know what triggers the AI to detect us in this game. I'm trying to pay attention every time I play it. I'm trying to pay attention to it. All right, and you'll notice this up in a lot of the screens. So one thing to check is this should always be moving. There's not a helmsman in the world that's gonna keep a steady pace. So if this is not moving, you probably need to turn your settings down a little bit. It's probably a little frozen. Check stuff. All right, this is the fathometer. All right, it's not on yet, so on standby. I don't like to use fathoms because I don't know. I think, what is fathoms, like 7,000 feet or something like that? I don't know. I'm gonna Google it as soon as I you know. So I just go in here, I change this to feet. All right, scale, the scale is 500 feet. The gain that we're using is 10 decibels. It's gonna warn us when there's 200 feet beneath the keel, all right? And it's gonna do a danger warning when there's 100 feet beneath the keel. You can change this. Let's just say I want this to be 300 and I want the danger to be 200, bro. I feel safer like that. Okay, cool, Ron. You have this game too, right? Appreciate you, bro. You guys' name is the same color for some odd reason. All right, so we don't need to do single. We're gonna just press standby and then press continuous. We'll get that bad boy started. This says secure deep. These are the alarms that we set right here. The warning and the danger. All right. So this is, what is that? This is warning 300 feet. This is secure. It's right here. All right, that's going. Now that we have that, we back up out of here, right? Now we can look at this and now we can see this is working now. It's good to have that working. So we're still up here in environment, right? So normally, just as a safety precaution, I use this as number one, to find the depth of where we're going, and number two, to test out and see how well our detectability range will be with our sonar. So we have to do some environment testing. Draw the speed, the sound speeds profile. For people who don't know, what is up with that music? For people who don't know, sound travels faster in solids than it does in gases or air. So this is how fast the sound is moving. And as you see, as we go deeper, this is a thermocline right here. All right. And as we go deeper, you see the sound is slower. Feet per second. All right. Now, I don't know, and I haven't confirmed this. It's one of those moments. If somebody in the chat can confirm it, please do. But the faster, the better the detection is what I'm thinking. That's how that correlates, right? Temperature has something to do with it too. And also salinity, according to the manual, but that's not here. I think temperature and salinity have They coincide. What that has to do with the layer, I don't know, bro. But for the time being, we just need to know the layer. Okay. So our heading right now is 182. We're gonna set a ray trace to see what the environment looks like out here. Our heading is 182. That's where we're going. We're gonna type that in here. 182, right here in the bearing, right there. Range, I don't know how far we're going. I'm gonna just say, let's go to the horizon, a little bit over 20,000, right? All right, and set the scale to 1,000 feet is good enough. And then we're gonna press ray trace. Boom. Right away, this is a horizontal slice of the ocean to 1,000 feet right here. And this is away from us. We are this tiny little sub right here at 162 feet. We just did a sonar post that went up to the top of the ocean and it bounced back down. And we also shot some pulse that went down to the bottom of the ocean right there. And anything within these green lines we can detect. Okay. So I know you're like, Ledge, what about this? This is what is called the shadow zone. And we're not supposed to be able to detect people in this zone. I don't know. But sometimes I do lose contacts the closer we get to them, which can be frustrating. So we know we want to keep our contact range outside of 10,000 yards, right? Or our tracking range, at least, you know. So you can also do this the easy way. You can just press set trace and you can click somewhere on the map, right? It automatically puts the bearing in there. How many yards we put in, scale, press ray trace, and boom. Looks like this because we set it to like 100,000 yards. So if we made it shorter, it would look more sparse. And let me see, that's down to 1,000 feet. How far? Let's go 20,000. Okay. So we know that beneath the keel, what was it? 11,000? It was 11,000. It was 13. Yeah, it was 13. So this is basically us. I don't know. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see. Bam. Shot that. It hit the bottom of the ocean floor. Boom. And it bounced back up to the surface. Sometimes you can have a layer so strong that some of it will bounce off that layer too. But I guess either we can't see it at this scale or what. But we can also get the shape or the contour of the ocean's floor right here. Buttons in here. We can zoom in and back. This centers it. This makes it north up. Centers it on us, whatever our up is. And horizontal up. I don't know. Oh no, this is north up again. What is that? Oh wow. Latitude and longitude. Wow. Just noticed that. Cool. Information is king. What does this do though? It turns something off and on. I don't know what that does. Was it depressed at first? Holy shit. Okay, we'll come back to that. That's cool. All right, environment is set up. We have a nice deep ocean, keeping engagement 10,000 yards plus. Is everybody following? Let's go to the next screen. Environment. This is the situation awareness screen that was over there on the captain's or the commander's console. I never use that on here. Now, this is that sound we kept hearing. This is active intercept. Any beams, any radio, anything ships are sending out, it's got to have a source, right? So basically what this active intercept does is it tells us whatever is coming our direction from something, including torpedoes. Yes, this big yellow thing right here is representative of a radio wave coming at us from somewhere. Right here is a 360-degree chart, and it will flash on here sometimes when you see it. Let's start from up here, north. This button right here always means, let's turn this off for a second. And yes, this mutes it. This means that it's high frequency. All right, and when we click on here, we can get the information. And I think this is pulse reference frequency. Boom. This means 3 pulses per minute. Yeah, I've been Googling stuff, bro. And yes, I learned a lot about this game by Googling stuff. And you can too. All right. Right here, the directions say the bearing is 235. This is just this information over here in a cuter report. The signal is 85.4 decibels frequency. Now, I suppose that later on in the game, and yes, I was trying to Google what type of pulse this is and what capabilities it can be. And I'm not finished Googling that yet. I would like to know what type of radio wave this is. Is this radar? We don't have anything to worry about. Why are we detecting radar 162 feet? If that is, okay, cool. All right. But anyway, for all intents and purposes of gameplay, we know the bad guys are bearing 235. Okay? And we'll come back to that. Now you can press the track button right here and it will send this track over to fire control for them to mark it. But I don't like doing that. It clutters up. It's not a good way to track stuff. What I think, for all intents and purposes, is just to give us some direction as soon as we get in here. The bad guys are 240, So what are we doing? We're doing 180. What I like to do is I like to watch the different reports from here. So he's at 236. He started out at 240, right? 236. So he's headed south. We're south right now. We're going 5 knots. We can hang out right here, as far as I'm concerned. So also, you can see we have VHF. This is high frequency. I think this is mid frequency. I'm not sure. And these are different types of detecting pulses that naval ships send out to detect. All right. A couple more things here. You will notice this layout right here. The number, notice the one in the middle right here. 0 degrees is north, right? So that means we're on the north. This is on own ship. So when we press this, in the middle of the graph, or whatever this is, the graph shows 182. This is our current heading, 182. All right, so this is going to show where that beam is coming from relative to our position. We're heading right here. Shows them right here off to our starboard side. And likewise, south is going to put what? 180 at the top. Why you would want that? I don't know yet. I don't know yet. And I'm thinking, if we're using that here, should it flip this chart around? Because this is always north up top, right? So normally we found out he's going south. We're already going south. We'll see what happens. We're going real slow, so if we need to course correct, we'll come back. That is on mute. That's pretty much all you need to do here. All right, next is the demon analysis. Oh wow, look at that. I don't know what that was. This could have been a biologic or something like that. I think that's what this is. We're 182 feet, no, 162 feet deep. Well below the layer. It's rare to see anything here. All right, so we're on the upper sonar station, right? I will keep the environment up here. Or if we're in shallow water, I'll keep the fathometer up here. All right, so let's go down here. This is where I set up sonar screens. The lab is the sonar array that's in the bow. I think it's large area. We don't have to do that, remember? We don't have to do that. It's right here. Okay, spherical bow medium frequency sonar array. I just think of it as the large array in the bow. That just helps me remember where it is. It's at the front of the ship. Cool. All right, and the second one I set up as the wide area array. All right, and the third one I set up as the wide area array, but I do it double time. I don't know, this is kind of looking like a ship now. Looking like remnants of a ship. They might have fixed it, bro. All right, we're gonna spend some time here. Slowly but surely, steady. All right, time bearing. This is real time right here. All right, which looks horrible. Never use that. This is like regular. This is like 1 speed. This is like double speed. But think of it opposite. This is kind of like crunch. This is moving slower. But why would you want this? Because when it's crunched and compressed like this, you can see a lot more details real easy. This is how you detect subs, but you're gonna have to use a thin line. So this is the front of the submarine looking out in a cone shape, kind of. And that is where these lines come in right here. And what this represents is outside of this cone shape is not really reliable information. Okay, so if you see anything over here, just take it as you need to go that way and check it out. Not like, oh, mark that track right there. You get it? You get it? All right. All right, what else? All right, this is the wide area array. So that is these 3 guys right here. Wide aperture flank array with rapid localization with wrap lock. So this is on the side of the sub, and this is looking out like this in the cone. So of course we have these unreliable spaces right here. That's what the white little ticker dots mean right here. All right. And of course, this is the other wide area, which is just showing the same information but compressed because we have it in double time. Well, what is this? Oh, this does that. I never use this. I have no idea why we would want to use this. I'm gonna check it out though. Okay, I'm seeing that the numbers over here. Oh, seeing that the numbers over here are different. So this is some type of different time compression. We'll check it out later. Check it out later. All right, I don't know if you can. Now this is the headphones, and wherever this yellow arrow is what you're listening to. This is the waterfall. This is called the waterfall when people are talking about the waterfall. And when you see things on here, it's actually what sound looks like in the water. I don't think you can replay this. We'll see. I've never been able to replay. We can't replay it. So obviously, we go up here and we press the headphones up here, and this turns on the headphones. This one right here controls the volume. So when we go down here and put the cursor on here, we can hear, which kind of sounds like an engine. We'll come back to this. I wasn't too sure if you can replay stuff that is a little bit down here. This is awesome because this is just a regular ship. We're 162 feet deep down and we detected them, which is cool. I thought you couldn't detect anything unless it was above the layer and when with realistic outpour, blah, blah, blahs, right? So what this line represents right here is this is where this sound went right here. He went from, we can see the bearing right here, 258 right here. He went from 288 all the way towards 317. Right? So he's going north. That's not our guy. That's somebody else around here. That's not who's shooting. Turn this off for a second. That's not this guy who's shooting. This is at 253. That guy went somewhere 317 over here. It could be, I don't know. We're starting, as you can see, with that little information right now, we're starting to get a picture of what could be going on the surface. All right, so this turns it on, and wherever you point to and click on the waterfall is where you're listening in the water. This is bearing 227. What's going on over there? 272, nothing. Also, since these are both different sensor arrays, they have different sensitivity. The wide area array is a lot more sensitive than the large, the LAB. Not by much, but as you can tell by the static, I don't know if we can pull this guy up. Let me see. Yeah, sounds different. All right, and on top of that, I'm not. All right, these buttons control what you see. This is the upper one, this is the middle one, and this is the bottom one. Okay. And of course, here we have our bearings up top. We have it set to own ship right now, which is this is us. This is where we're going. And this is our friend on our starboard side. That could be our guy. Could be our guy. And then as a true north bearing, this is where everything is. We are going south right here. And our guy is heading, maybe he's heading south or north. I don't know yet. We don't know yet. I'll keep it on. Sometimes it's just better to look at in one of these views. It's just your choice. I wouldn't say do this one particularly. It's just how do you receive this information the best, you know? All right. So we got some more numbers up here. This is the bearing that you're pointing at right here, true bearing. And then this is the relative bearing, the bearing as opposed to the ship. This is actual, we're looking at 225 degrees, and 225 degrees is 43 degrees to our starboard. Do you get that? And this part in the thing is 5 minutes ago. It tells you where the minutes. This was at 291, 11 minutes ago. All right. And they were at 307, 8 minutes and 25 minutes, 8 minutes and 25 seconds ago. Now, this yellow one right here is what you're currently tracking, or what you clicked on with this cursor. All right, and that one stays. The white one right here is your cursor. The yellow one right here is the marker right here. This button right here, if we had a contact up here, and we'll be back here tonight, we would press this when we get a solid contact right here. We lost this contact, probably because they're too far away and we are too deep to hear him. But I guarantee you, if we get over the layer, which is 79 feet, we will be able to hear everything that's running on the surface out here. All right, is that everything? Any questions on this one? So the next one is Narrowband. This is what we use primarily to acoustically identify ships, right? This is when we can actually look at the sound signatures of whatever is making noise in the water, right? So we'll just start up here. One is, you just see one. We had a choice. You see 3, or you can see 5. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Each one of these represents a bearing. So about 313, 327 north, 32, 107. All right. So you'll be able to track them if you're what bearing. Say you're tracking a bunch of guys and a bunch of, do you want to know? I don't know. But I usually use this 3. I usually put it on 3. All right, here we have our north own ship and south indicators, and what you can see right here. Where? Down here. This right here is the frequency. Okay, so don't get that confused. So down here on the sonar display is where we're controlling own ship south and north. All right. One controls the range and frequency. So right now we're looking at 0 all the way to 3600. And sometimes we're looking at something that has low frequency and the rest of this will be washed out. You don't need to see all of that. So you can switch to 2. Now you see we're down to 2400. Most of the stuff we're looking at on the surface is going to be between 0 and 1200. You'll be lucky to see something in here in the higher frequencies. Stuff that I've seen. But I haven't seen everything. So we'll be in here and we'll come back to you. We'll come back. All right. And we'll explain. Here we have you can listen to tracks here, just like the other sonar, the Narrowband. Adjust the volume. Here's our bearing information. on the sonar down here. And I'm not sure you can add a track here. I just good practice. I never add a track from here. That's just me though. All right. And okay, down here, you have to press play in order for this to work. Let me see. All right, let's see if we can get it to work with this down here, and we'll come back here. Let's press play on here first. The narrowband's running. We're not looking at anything. Let's try to look at this engine noise we had from earlier. I don't see anything. It's very faint. All right, let's jack up the input. Jack it all the way up. Now, okay, now we're starting to see a little something. This is a horrible example, but we'll be back here later. I just wanted to demonstrate it working. Now, notice that when we are in narrowband, you cannot listen to the headphones. That has to be off while we're doing this. Get into the practice of turning off this every time you're done using it. And that should be everything on the ship, bro. When you're done using it, turn it off, put it back. So what you want to do here is just trying to just listen to the track. This is not a good track. This is not a strong track at all, but we can see some sound here. We can't identify anything off of that. So we're just demonstrating that right now. All right. Any questions on the narrowband? You guys are professionals now. All right, moving on. The demon analysis. I forgot. What is this? What does this stand for? I'm doing a tutorial. I forgot what demon actually stands for. It's not nothing evil. I checked. For what I understand, and we're gonna go into this a little bit later. From what I understand, we can use this. We can use this to determine the speed of a target or a track. And we're gonna get a nice strong track before we come back in here, because there's some math that we have to do, all types of stuff. But I figured out a way, I think I figured out a way to kind of, what do you call it? Not eyeball it, but you know, I don't know, yeah, eyeball it, guesstimate from the demon analysis. But the reason why I haven't really been back here, I'm waiting on them to, somebody to do a tutorial. And on top of that, to fill in my blanks, because I'm this close. It's like, I'm like, I think I figured it out, to tell you the truth. I think I figured it out, but there's just a few things in the equation I don't know where to get. It's either not in the manual or it's not in the game. I don't know where to get it from. So I kind of backed off a demon for a little while. And we really don't need it, because if you get, I just got better at the TMA, at the tracks, right? You can track speed pretty good with sonar. You know, better than guessing at the demon at this moment. But I'm guessing in some point in the future, you will be able to pinpoint speed exactly, you know, from the demon analysis. And that should be cool. That would be cool. And we'll go in here later when we get these tracks. We'll go in here later. All right. And that is it for sonar. Any questions for sonar?